Mark. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you. This is the new Hurricane Spliffy show. We're doing it solo from now on. I don't have a partner anymore. I'm kind of winging this by myself now. So, hey, Reasons to Range, Faith Jackson. Hey, welcome aboard. I'm kind of doing this solo. I bought this station for 5 sandwiches from our good old friend LD, who's not doing this anymore. Seems he got ratted out by some nasties. So got him in trouble over nothing. Hey, Voodoo Ninja, welcome aboard. Notice I got a new ship. I got a new ship. Yes, I do. So, a big shout out to everybody out there. It's nice to see some old faces, and I hope I can wing this. It's not easy not having somebody here to talk to. I do have a silent partner, but we can't get into that. But it seems the dog got into some trouble. This sphincter out there in Slab City bitched to the state of Illinois that he was smoking legal weed now on YouTube, because he's a card-carrying medical marijuana user in the state of Illinois. Okay, so what he was doing was not illegal, but he is on workers' comp. And workers' comp said, well, we follow federal guidelines. And of course, we all know what those are. So his attorney said he had to go off YouTube. So that's what happened there. So that's what's happening, and that's why he's not on anymore. And hopefully he'll be back in the future. But in the meantime, I'm going to be doing my Saturday show, and at least you got me to communicate with. And then there's my silent partner. So no, I don't think he can wear a mask. I think we're just going to have to communicate with him silently, if you get my drift, through me. The Hurricane Spliffy show can communicate in more than one way, as you can see. So, as you can see. So, we'll get the message across. So we'll get on with the show here. Today I'm doing some double Gorilla OG, which smokes harsh as shit, but it makes you silly as hell. So it's kind of fun, So I've been smoking that, and then I've developed a new technique. I no longer dab, and we'll get into that later. But right now, I want to have some more of this here, this double Gorilla. Put a lump on top here. But yeah, I've developed a new technique called gobbing. So I no longer dab. It's something I've developed myself. I'll show you how it works in a little bit, but I think you'll enjoy it. And it's a time saving technique. So that's what I like about it. So I'm all about saving time because at my age I don't have a lot of it left, so I got to use it wisely. So I was down at the keg the other night, and I nearly
Hope so too.
excuse me, like I said, this stuff is harsh. I nearly got my ass kicked by a young couple. Young, I mean like late 20s, early 30s. They complimented me on one of my original T-shirts. I think it was I have six-pack abs right behind this keg, and they thought it was funny. And I explained to them that I make up all my own T-shirts, and then I print them, have them printed online. And I started to rattle off some of my other shirts, and I mentioned that I had holiday shirts too. I had some Christmas shirts. And I said, I have an eco shirt that I wear at Christmas time. It says, I says, because I'm opposed to cutting down Christmas trees. I said, I have a shirt I wear that says, kill a tree for Christ. And I thought their fucking eyes were going to pop out of their head. Apparently, it's their God given right to cut down a tree and drag it in their house and watch it die. And this guy was literally going to kick my ass over this. And I told him, well, his father would be proud that he could beat the shit out of a man twice his age. And I said, well, I said, you could put up a plastic one, wouldn't that be just as good? And he said, well, they grow these trees so you can cut them down. And I thought, well, they could grow these trees so they could produce oxygen instead. I said, that seemed to make more sense to me. For some reason or another, he became enraged and insulted my hair. And I said, well, what's my hair got to do with it? And then it was, well, they grow hops to make your beer, and you don't seem to have a problem with that. And I said, well, I wouldn't have a problem with your tree if you brought it in the house and ate it. I said, but you're bringing it in the house and you just stand it there in the corner and you watch it die. I said, any kind of sacrifice in the past. I said, if they killed a lamb, they ate it. I said, even human sacrifice, they ate the heart or it, shrunk the head. It served some sort of useful purpose. I says, you're not doing anything except killing this thing, watching it die, and then throwing it away. I says, you throw it on the burn pile out here. That's all they do with them. They don't even, at least in the city, they grind them up for mulch. Out here in the country, they just throw them on a burn pile. It becomes part of the bonfire that winter. It's ridiculous. And this guy was literally going to kick my ass over a Christmas tree. And I thought it was absurd. There was an old man in the bar who brings his dog in there all the time. He's got a dachshund, and he brings his dog in there all the time. And he interceded in my behalf. He got up and walked over and started talking some bullshit to this guy, and kind of calmed down. And so I bought the couple of beer, and everything was okay after that. But I couldn't believe these people got so upset about their God-given right to kill a tree. So it's fucking ridiculous. But anyway, I just had to get that off my chest. People are nuts. So I don't know. And then of course, then I had to tell him I was an atheist anyway. But added fuel to the fire. So I guess I shouldn't have done that. But I felt at that point it was pointless to keep that a secret. I still wanted to save the tree. So, have any of you seen this commercial for this drug you take to stop smoking? This Chantix, where they got this. Hello, Tanya. Welcome aboard. Have you seen this Chantix where they got this turkey walking around doing all kinds of shit? Anybody seen this commercial? Because they talk about how you might have trouble quitting cigarettes, uh, slow turkey. I mean cold turkey, and that apparently the opposite of cold turkey is slow turkey. And I got to thinking about this, and it seems to me that the opposite of cold turkey is hot turkey, and we ought to be seeing this son of a bitch in the oven instead of walking around his yard watering flowers. I don't know if it's just me, but hot's the opposite of cold, not slow. And I want to eat that fucker. I don't want to watch it garden. Uh, it would make more sense to me. The commercial would make a lot more sense if people were sitting around the table eating them. That's all I'm saying. So it's not easy doing this solo. I know the dog does this all the time, but it's not easy. So I don't know how he did it. But my shirt says I have a photographic memory, but it hasn't developed yet. So as people are turning into bratty children with no manners. Yeah, they are. Spliffy would have took them out so quick. Yeah, I don't know. You're right about people are turning into bratty children with no manners. There's this. Well, I consider her a young lady because she's younger than me, but that's most people. But this woman comes into the bar, and I came in right after she left. Now I know her. I've known her since she was 20 or so. And so I've known her for maybe 15 years. And she used to tend bar out here and other places in the area. And she basically picked a fight with the owner's mother. Didn't know who she was, but she picked a fight with Mac's mother down here at the keg. Called her a bitch, and then got up and went storming out. And I came in, and she told me she just met Barbie. I said, no, that must have been a pleasant experience. Yes, that Barbie. And it's like, I guess she didn't know who she was talking to, and obviously she didn't, but she's an absolute crazy crazy person. Thank you, Voodoo Ninja. Uh, and thanks, Faith. I appreciate the encouragement. Uh, I truly do. Kids are too soft these days. Yeah, well, at least at age 8 and 10 and such, they'll still listen to you. You know, I'm glad I never had a son because I know by the time he was 15, we'd be rolling around on the fucking lawn together. You know, yeah, you got to toughen them up when they're young. You know, I know I didn't have an easy childhood. I had a job from the time I was 9. Then I was more or less on my own from the time I was 14. My mother remarried, and they were off seeing the world. And then 17, I was in the military. I was in and out of the service. I wasn't even 21 yet. I wasn't old enough to drink or vote at that time. Buster the Stoner Dog. He's around here somewhere. I don't know, he might be taking a nap. He's had some rough times. He broke out in some kind of a bumpy rash. We took him to the vet. It cost me $1 million, but he's okay now. He's doing much better. They put him on antibiotics, and they did a scraping and did a culture, and that turned out negative. So he's doing good. The bumps went away. So he's doing much better now. So glad to say. But the 2 dogs went to the vet, and with shots and everything, cost me nearly $1,000. I couldn't believe it. You know, they're getting expensive. Of course, the girls are easier to raise. You can intimidate them with the sound of your voice for the most part, and you can't with boys, I think. And you have to worry about one of them getting knocked out. With boys, you don't know how many they might knock out. Okay, you got that going too. So well, that pretty much cashes this bowl. So we seem to be getting closer to war, and I don't like it. What's that? What's that? Did something happen to DP? The dog pound. Yeah, it's gone. As I explained earlier, we uh, we had a problem there. Some sphincter uh, reported that Lost Dog was smoking marijuana. Reported to the state of Illinois that he was smoking marijuana on YouTube, although it was perfectly legal for him to do so, since he was a card-holding medical marijuana uh, user in the state of Illinois. He was a workers' compensation collector, and they follow federal guidelines. Even though they're a state agency, they follow federal guidelines. So they suspended his benefits. His attorneys told him he had to get off YouTube. So he struck everything that he had online and is no longer allowed to broadcast. So I'm still going to do the Saturday show with my silent partner. And so I'll still be here. I purchased this network for 5 sandwiches. And here we are. I'll do the best I can. And with a little help from my friend, as they say. And we'll do what we can, okay? And yeah, I could possibly get some pet insurance. I probably should do that. So,
How much does something like that cost?
I don't know what pet insurance costs. Do you know what pet insurance costs, Dave? Because these dogs are ripping me off. Because I take them in once a year, and it's like, Christ, they cost me more than my car. And there's never really anything drastically wrong with them. Just all the shit, the heartworm meds and the tests and all of that shit cost a lot. And the ticks out here are outrageous. Last I was down there last Saturday, he went out, he let the dogs in, and 3 times he got ticks on himself. Okay. 3 times. Just letting the dogs in. And these are short-haired dogs. So for them to be picking up tick like that is just unbelievable around here. And there's no crops. Nothing's growing. There hasn't been enough dry weather. We had 3 days of dry weather last week, which gave the farmers an opportunity to turn under all the goldenrod that's been going like crazy around here. I mean, we've had fields of goldenrod. They haven't been able to turn anything under all spring. Okay, corn, if it's out there, is literally inches tall. Okay, so it's gonna be a shit year for the farmers. So these government subsidies better fucking show up, you know. So maybe I'll show you how to gob now. Anybody interested? Because it's a totally new and radical technique. It goes beyond dabbing to a whole new level. It's something totally radical. Now I have this I have this ashtray from the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas that I stole in the '70s, which of course they totally expect you to do anyway. So I don't even know if the Flamingo Hotel even exists anymore. But anyway, uh, I have some Shy Dog here, and what you do is right off the bat, it's different than dabbing because you take not a dab, but a gob, okay, like a third to a half a gram, and you put that in your dish. And you take your torch and you just pass it over the gob until you get it all melty and runny. You don't want to burn it. You just want to melt it down until it's a puddle. Whoop. And you get it nice and warm and runny. The ashtray is pretty hot. So you get it running down, get it all oozy and gooey. There. Then once you get it all melted and into a puddle like this, you can heat up your nectar collector. Get that going real good. And Mr. Shaky Hands here. Let me turn off the toast. I like to get it glowing real good. So, and this way you got a whole puddle. You can just dab anywhere and all over the mother. Now I don't have to go back in there and get any more. I got a whole puddle I can dab from. And that's what I call gobbing. We're buffering off and on. Am I the only one buffering? Hit the like button and support the Spliffy. See, this is way easier than dabbing. Because now I can just go back in here anytime. And I got a huge gob of shit. And I don't have to fuck around with the jar lid over and over and over again. I like this much better. is much easier to do. Anybody saw that or not? I don't know if we're going to war or not, but pretty scary what shit's been going on. Uh, first we sent 1,500 troops to the Gulf, and then we sent another 1,000 troops to the Gulf, and then they allegedly attacked these tankers, uh, and now they shut down this drone. And then we allegedly were going to attack them, and then Trump called it off. And I don't know. Things are pretty fucking scary. And we started it all, man. And that's what I don't like about it. We started it all. I mean, we had that nice, cozy little agreement. Our allies in China and Russia were all in on this whole fucking thing. Okay? It wasn't just our allies, it was China and Russia too. And we fucking pulled out of it and fucked the whole thing up. And it just pisses me off. Because, now, I mean, that's all we need is another fucking war in the Middle East. You know, and if, Trump's saying, well, I pulled out the last minute because I asked him how many people are going to die. Well, if they didn't tell him that fucking intelligence to begin with, then there's definitely something fucked up in the White House. Okay? Because, I mean, that should have been, that kind of intelligence should have been first and foremost. Okay? I mean, that should have been a part of the whole fucking deal to begin with. If you know that to begin with, then I don't know what the fuck's going on. Palm trees aren't waving. Okay. But I'm deeply concerned. I just don't want to see nobody else dying. Enough people fucking die already. You know? Enough fucking people die already. Okay, it was a pregnant pause. each understand that? What else is on my mind? Ooh, who might that be? Oh, it's my bestie. What's this? She sent me a photo.